I'm certain like I'm going to love this product because it's just it's stupid for me not to do it. Welcome to another episode of Campfire Capitalism. I am your host, Desmond Dixon. Today, there's no Josh, but we do have Heather, who's your co-host. Say what's up, Heather.
Woohoo! What up, everybody?
And today, we are going to have a 1 of 2-part series dedicated to viral loops. And we are going to play a little bit in the sandbox with this topic, since it is the tactic and strategy that has grown multiple unicorn businesses in the tech space, and even some traditional companies to some degree, I guess you can say as well. And so Heather's really going to be leading this discussion, since she's definitely has a background in technology and understands the structures of it. And I'll play a little bit in terms of sales, and I'm pretty much going to play the recipient on this episode, really asking questions, because I'm super interested in figuring out how to implement this and some sales strategies, and where does it fit in the sociological profile. So Heather, we're talking about viral loops. You ready?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, let's define viral loops for the sake of what we're talking about. So, Desmond, what do you call a viral loop? Because everybody's going to have a slightly different terminology with this. There are a couple of marketers out there that have labeled it very specifically and made up their own terminology. And I've noticed over probably the last few years, maybe 2 or 3, that it's gotten a little, for lack of a better word, hairy when you're trying to describe what it is.
Yeah, sure. So when I think of a viral loop, I'm thinking of a structure or a process that is tapping into behavioral patterns with users or clients that aligns their behavior to growth within the company, right? So there's share and receive $5 and your friend receive $5. Or another popular one was, Robinhood's one, which was, share with a friend and get a free stock, right? So just incentivizing your prospects or your clients to do the marketing and sales for you for an incentive in some degree. Maybe there's not cash incentive, maybe it's a feature incentive or product incentive. I know newsletters use this a lot, where it's if you refer and share with other email lists, they have a gamification of 5 referrals get you a t-shirt, 10 referrals get you a free membership into a mastermind maybe, or a premium subscription. So there's this mechanism or tactic or strategy to align the incentive of the client sharing, you getting another, you growing in a way more organically, right? That's kind of my view of viral loops. Am I close or
you're there? I'm gonna give it a little bit more definition. So a viral loop, or a viral, what we call viral organic sharing, is a process in which you set up an end user to become more or less the mouthpiece behind your business. But making it viral requires it to hold a couple of little classifications. One of which is the virality of it is leveraging of other platforms. So, for example, if you are trying to get people to sign up for a piece of software, it's having your end user leverage another platform, aka Facebook, and sharing it on there where it can then be reshared. Something similar to that. There's lots of different options for this. There's lots of different ways to go about it. But a lot of it has to do with when and where something can or cannot be seen, shared, acquired, etc. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think the leveraging of other platforms is pretty interesting.
It
made me think of Airbnb's little loop where they use Craigslist. And oh man, yeah. So it can look definitely in different formats. This is interesting. So from a psychological perspective, I mean, what's the, like, when we strip away all the platforms and like the actual like tangible things, like what are some of the intangible things that are like, or patterns, or like, you know, the soft skills, or like what are some of like the little things that like that are elements of a viral loop that are important, you think?
Oh God, that's such a good question. So like viral loops can be either exceptionally powerful or just what I call like A-okay. Unless you completely fuck it up, and I mean that in the nicest way possible, but unless you fuck it up royally, like a viral loop will work almost at failing point. Okay. They just will. Like it is, unless your product or service does not meet the needs of the end user, then a viral loop will always work. It's kind of like a discount card or anything else for that matter. It always works some of the time. It's seeing how to go from some of the time to all of the time, or how to go from how to shorten what we call shorten the chain of marketing. Okay. So the difference between the two is exceptional. It's actually monstrous, if I have to be honest. Like from A to B, like having it be successful, like slightly successful versus exceptionally successful, is there's a couple of different things that are required. Number 1 and 2 is for something to be exceptionally successful, it's going like you have to have what you have to have built community. Honestly, like community has to have been built and it has to be bought into. If that community isn't built and bought into, it's really hard for people to choose or to opt in to the possibility of being like a spokesperson. Because that's essentially what you're creating. You're creating another mouthpiece for your business. And in order for somebody to want to opt into being a spokesperson, you have to build like a certain type of trust. You also have to build a certain type of relationship where people understand what it means to go from A to B with you. What does it mean to go from B to C with you? What do you do? Have you proven how this works, what it looks like, and all the other in-betweens, so that people want to do these things with you? Because if you haven't, the problem therein lies that while it seems excellent and fantastic in theory, realistically, people don't want to go the extra mile to share somebody else's product unless they already know how they're going to feel when that outcome happens. It's not what do I get, it's how do you make me feel.
Yeah, I think the community thing landed. And they have to definitely understand and feel going from point A to point B, right? Which is almost like certainty, right? Like versus certainty, like they're certain that they got like some tangible value, right, from A to B.
It isn't almost certainty. It is certainty. And it's certainty in a very weird type of reverse. Like if I'm certain that I am going to have an amazing time on this date, then I will go. It's that type of reverse. Make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
that's the only way I can explain it where it's going to land for everybody.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not certain that I'm going to have this type ABC type of time, I'm not going on that date, because that is an exceptional waste of my time. Not to mention, could be an emotionally damaging, nonsensical everything.
Yeah, this is fascinating. It's like almost like whatever's being shared, right, has to be such a no-brainer in a way, which is what you're talking about, right? Like I'm certain that I'm going to have a great time on this day, which is I'm going. It's almost like I'm certain, like I'm going to love this product because it's just it's stupid for me not to do it. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's not in their, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not,
There you
like them
go.
saying no is in not in their best interest, right? And they know it. And so it's
Exactly.
hard to say no to themselves. That's fascinating. That is
Now, see,
fascinating.
that is more often, like that's the catch that we're looking for, right?
Mhm.
So it's a catch. It's what we call the catch 22.
So as we're reverse engineering this, I'm going deeper here. Excuse my questions, but I got to go deeper here. So obviously, a great product, service, or delivery is vital for this event.
It's required for it to have any longevity. It's required. They'll all work in the beginning. It's a no-brainer. Like you will get a certain amount of success with this regardless. And also, it will not have a long life in any way, shape, or form if you do not have a good product, service, delivery. If that's not there, it won't last. It just won't. There's no get around for that.
Yeah. Yeah. That lands. So let me ask you this now. So since product market fit, right? Which is more of a for the audience, that's more of a tech term where it's almost like, okay, like you're building a software, or even in e-com to a certain degree, you're building a product, and the market it's well priced. It's the market says they want it, like strangers are buying it from you, right? Like there is a customer acquisition strategy, and this does not include your family and friends. Okay. Right?
Thank you.
No family and friends. So my question to you here is Heather is when do you believe like is the best time for a viral loop based on like product market fit? And then I guess maybe you need to unpack like when do you think I'm just curious, like, it's the balance, right? Like how do you know when to incorporate viral loops into when you're trying to distribute your product, service, or something that you're trying to deliver, essentially?
I mean, as much as I wish I could tell you, like there's a time when you see X, then go do Y. That's not the case. To be thoroughly honest with you, it's just simply not how it works. The truth is that if you want to accomplish something specific, a viral loop it'll only be time for a viral loop when you not only it fits into your marketing plan, but you have taken the time to execute all the necessary parts for it. Viral loops are not a messy action set. Fair enough. Cannot operate off of messy action and execute a viral loop. It is a bad choice.
Got it. All right. I got to go deeper here. So distribution models, right? I feel like we definitely talked about this in past episodes, right? So I'm a big fan. Like I know X, when you get X, you do Y. I know there's no, let's say, perfect playbook for this because a lot of this is based on business and market and condition, like just all types of different things. But let's just keep the high level of philosophical conversation regarding how are ways, okay, let's go this way. This is going to be fun. How are little clever ways to test possible viral loops in a distribution model? Like we can use the podcast, for example, right? I mean, we can use that as to help, paint a picture, or you can just use examples, or you can kind of answer however you want to answer it. But like, how do you test viral loops in different distribution strategies? Like, how would you test them?
I mean, honestly, I would test them with like customer interaction. Like I would test it like, are you going to do like customer appreciation week? That's when I would launch something. When I'm testing it, like you will have, because if you don't, you won't launch. But people should already have their customer acquisition data. You should already know what it is that they want bad enough to do whatever you ask of them. And if you don't know what they want bad enough to do whatever you ask of them, then you haven't done your homework. Period.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how do you, okay, this is interesting. Where do I want to
know your customer. That's the truth. The truth is that you need to know your customer in order to launch something like this, because what it is it's a customer interaction, a customer appreciation. It's a way to say thank you and also allow somebody else to market for your business because you trust that you've done a good enough job that they are going to speak highly of you. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't you believe, though, that usually there's some exchange of value to incentivize people to share, right? Or do you like I know there's probably different levels of viral loop where like some, maybe it's just really raving fans and everyone loves products.
Raving fans, it's always they say it at the end of every YouTube episode, please, like, share, and comment. We say it. If you're a raving fan, you'll automatically become part of a section of viral looping. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, share, and comment. Please like and share. It's that simple. And it's that hard because you also have to be able to, not only do you have to be able to provide a certain kind of value, you have to be able to almost breed a certain kind of trust. Okay. So give me an example of a viral loop that you have seen recently, and let's break it down.
Oh man, I was gonna kind of go in this direction. I'm glad you did. It's just beautiful that we're in concert. So, oh man, this is so cool. All right, because I really want to break this one down. One that I seen was integrated within the product. I wouldn't even call this recently. This is just one that I love because a lot of companies kind of use this playbook. And when I mean about product integration, I mean they use the product, the viral loop was baked into the actual use of the product. And the first one was PayPal, right? I don't know how many people understand how PayPal was created, but the fact that people sent an email with the PayPal in the email and people can pay people through email at the time was like, wow, I can pay someone electronically through, like, wow, that's incredible. And so they grew because people wanted to get paid more easily and effectively, and pay, that was kind of how the loop of PayPal, right? Like the loop was built in the use of the product, right? And there's lots of products out there that, that does very similar integrated viral loops, but I just found that was like really fascinating. And then also like, we're kind of using it with the podcast, right? Where we are going to reach out to podcasters and provide value to their audience. They're going to come provide value to you guys, and we're going to commingle audiences because it's a win-win, right? So we're like loop, like that's a little bit different, but at a high level, I mean, I guess that's in a way a viral loop, right?
It can be. So that is a piece. That's like one section. So imagine a viral loop similar to the way you build a business. If you have a product, you still have to have a sales funnel, right? So that's one subset of a viral loop. Pick your favorite software and what type of viral looping do they do?
I love Notion. Zoom, right? We're on Zoom right now. Either one of those two we could talk about, right? Because they're backed by, I'm on both of them probably more than any other software, period.
Okay, so have you looked at what their viral loops look like?
Notions, I know, is very similar to Slack's. So you invite people to inviting people to workspaces, guest workspaces, and then also publishing the website, like publishing pages, like you can send published pages to people. That's their little loop of how they, that's actually how I got on, right? So when I someone invited me to their workspace and I was like, whoa, what is this thing? And then like, boom, I signed up and then I did the free account and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pay for the annual. And now my team's on it. And it's just like, it's the bee's knees. So like, that's how I got into Notion, was someone invited me in to collaborate with something.
So what that is external network access to be able to share something privately with somebody else that is using an external network, someone who does not have a login for the system. Okay. Once that's shared, it's create an account. Once somebody creates an account, that's also like tagged and slated so that person A gets credit for person B being a part of the system. And it's a tracking. All that is like relatively simple affiliate tracking. Affiliate marketing is also a part of the same concept. Would you like what? Sorry. One sec, guys. Thank you. I just asked somebody to be quiet and he's like, did you leave your wallet inside? I was like, yes. Leave it to me. But realistically, like it has a lot to do with the same affiliate tracking was modeled after viral loops. So was a lot of the contest software you see these days. Contest software was also modeled after viral loops. Because the way that they run is asking somebody, like going to your current network, your current customers and saying, hey, do you like what we do? And they say, yeah. Great. Would you like to give other people the opportunity to have what you have? Yep. Awesome. Here you go. Here's a way to give them the opportunity to have access to what you have access to, all while at the same time, I'm going to acknowledge you for sharing.
Yeah, it's pretty genius. Yeah. I'm even like taking it down to the micro where it's like, they share with me, and the only way I can actually see what they're externally sharing with me, the only way I can see behind the curtain of what did they share is me signing up to at least see it, right? I mean, like I have to give them my email and insert the ecosystem, even like participate in what someone is sharing with me. Like that's like the first trigger.
That is what we call a force loop. That is not external network access. That is internal network access. And internal network access means if you say, hey, I need you to sign this document, in order to sign the document, you have to have an account and you have to sign up for it in order to do A or B. The only way that one works is if that document is a requirement for them. Now, the catch is, does it work? Yes. Does it take away their choice? Absolutely. It absolutely does. Thank you, honey. Have a wonderful day. Holy moly, it is 31 degrees out. But the catch for that is that from the corporate standpoint, it works like almost all the time. Almost all the time. Now, is it the best choice from an entrepreneur standpoint? No, absolutely not. But from everybody else's standpoint, sure. Sure it is. Wonderful. It works perfectly. And it works perfectly because what it does is it gives certain companies the ability to more or less pigeonhole the market if they are the fan favorite. Now, it also gives companies who may not be able to or in a position to spend the kind of money on marketing or spend the kind of money on being visual or traction, it gives them the opportunity to be the fan favorite in order to corner the market. You use your mojo as leverage. How about that?
Oh
that
man,
should
I'm
win
like,
for you.
I'm getting juiced up right now because, man, all right, we got to pivot here slightly, right, to make it even that like to even really let this land with the audience. So I'm gonna go on a quick 2-second monologue, and then I'm gonna bring up another topic within the viral loop space. And maybe we'll talk about dedicate literally an episode to this with very specific case studies and, just kind of unpack literally very specific situations and share a screen and really, Heather, we're going to do that tomorrow for sure. I'm going to prepare something because I have a few projects I want to unpack a little bit.
Excellent.
But so viral loops are crazy, guys, right? Really what it is a fancy word of saying word of mouth, right? I mean, it's a structured word of mouth approach, right? We all know word of mouth is usually the best business because the CAC is a lot cheaper than paid advertisement. Even sometimes content marketing, because it costs a lot of money to generate content, at least consistently and effectively over time, right? It's a lot of time, effort, money, right? So like word of mouth is like the perfect leverage because you really didn't spend or really invest the time in the actual transactional and the actual, acquisition of that customer, right? Maybe you did with the customer beforehand, but for that customer there, it's like exponential growth, right? I think it's super powerful, right?
Yep.
And so for me, what I tell, when I'm dealing with clients or if I'm talking with people and they're like, how can I grow my business? How can I make more money? I'm like, well, how can you take care of your clients? Right? Raving fans is the easiest way to do this, right? If people love your stuff and if you're over delivering and if you're executing and if you're crushing it, they are going to, and if you ask them to share, do a testimony, do a review, that feeds it because people love reviews. People love seeing testimonials. I mean, that can lead to, catalyzing your sales that way. Then also tapping into their email list. Hey, can I give you an email that you can send out to, your network, or can I help you create a post and send out to your network? Because I would really love to help more people like yourself, or you open and jumping on a, there's so many different creative ways to leverage a raving fan if you are dedicated to over delivering, right? So that's number one. I wanted to get that out the way because I think
that is the golden rule, though. Like I'm cutting in. Like the golden rule is being dedicated to your craft, dedicated to your delivery, dedicated to your clients, dedicated to your audience. In over delivering, being abundantly giving of value.
Yeah.
Abundantly giving of value.
I think
because if you have a business model that is dedicated to always doing everything you can for your customer, for your client, then the rest of the viral loop runs itself.
Boom. I think that's we're going to create some jargon on the channel with you guys. That is an authentic viral loop. And if you vibe with this authentic viral loop or this, not authentic, let's use more natural. It's a natural viral loop. I like natural a lot better. A natural viral loop, right? Like you're just naturally creating, you're naturally scaling through raving fans. So if that landed with you guys, if you believe in that, man, drop a natural down in the chat, in the comments with a rocket ship, maybe, or a moon, or whatever your favorite emoji is, because I think natural viral loops are cool and awesome. I want to talk about another topic related to viral loops that I think is fascinating. And I want to dedicate definitely to the rest of the pod to this. And that is obviously we're going to bring up NFTs and crypto, right? Just a little bit, because what fascinated with me, okay, so the thing that got me into blockchain was, speed and having some issues with like invoicing and things like that. And I was like, wow, this is like dinosaur, like, right? Like, taking so much time to get money. And I was just like, man, it's crazy how this is, how business is being done. But, when I got behind the curtain and I started to look into the communities and, play a little bit, I think the thing that really gathered my attention, that lit a fire underneath my butt, was the viral loops that were created for these different projects and the strategies that we're using. I thought that blew my mind. And if you take away the jargon of, okay, NFTs, cryptocurrency, and blockchain, if you just look at the mechanisms and the energy and the cycles and the infrastructure that's in place, I'm like, wow, there's a ton of businesses in real life who this is what they want, right? Like this is what's like, they're up all night. Some business owners up all night thinking of like, hey, marketing and growth hacking and sales. And I'm like, man, this is maybe a present at the doorstep of entrepreneurs and business owners. And I just find it fascinating, some of their growth hacks and how they're leveraging viral loops to really scale some of these projects to do like sometimes multi-million dollar launches. And I want to unpack, maybe on a high level for the rest of this episode, and then we can kind of talk about very specific projects. I'll put together some briefs and everything like that and send them over to you, which ones I want to talk about. But I find it fascinating, some of these loops these guys were doing. You want to hear about some of them? I guess, like, where do you want to go from here? Should I
no, I want to hear about them. Yes.
So I think the one that blew my mind. So guys, I'm a sales consultant. Like, I love sales and strategy and psychology. And one of the strategies that they're using, obviously, is leveraging word of mouth, right? Like, they are like discipling their communities, right? And what's crazy about it is a part of it is there's scarcity, right? So let's start off at the high level. There's scarcity, right? So let's just say that there's 1,000 spots on the boat. Okay, guys, there's a cruise ship. It's going to your favorite destination. It has your favorite DJ on there, has all your favorite food. It has all your favorite attractions on there. I mean, it's the bee's knees. It's your dream cruise going to your dream destination, right? There's only 1,000 spots available, right? And so traditionally, most businesses will usually do, a launch, right? Launch strategies are very popular, right? The tickets will launch. Everyone's, whoever knows, and whoever gets a ticket gets to go, right? There's, paid marketing, maybe some content marketing, very traditional, right? Maybe some commercials. It'll sell out. There's no doubt that dream cruise will sell out. Now, what's happening in NFT in the blockchain space is, imagine. So I want you guys to look at value, right? So based upon traditional styles, we might get, let's say, 20,000, 30,000 people trying to buy that $1,000, buy one of those 1,000 spots, right? That's great, right? I mean, those are great numbers. 30,000 people really want it. What NFTs and these viral loops that they're doing is they're not only saying, this is freaking crazy, Heather. I hope this lands with the audience. Like, this blows my freaking top off, guys. This blows my top off. What they're doing is they're saying, you cannot, not only you have to pay for getting access to your favorite cruise, but you get to invite people, you get to participate in the brand. You have to retweet, you have to share, you have to comment, you have to like, you have to do fan art about this cruise. And then you have to invite 10 people to join the wait list or join the join to participate in the community, to make the community more valuable in order to even have an opportunity to buy it, right? So imagine having those 30,000 people, right, who are trying to buy that 1,000 thing, and every single last one of those 30,000 people invite 10 people on average.
Right.
That is 300,000 people inside the ecosystem, not including the people who are on the outside looking in, because you have the lookers, right? We call them window shoppers. There's the window shoppers. So you have 300,000 people now competing for 1,000 spots. So what does that do? It drives up the value. And you're still going to buy it for the same price as if it was 30,000. But your ticket now is 10 times, maybe even in certain you can ask certain economists, but maybe 100 times more valuable, your ticket, because of the amount of demand. It's just basic economics, supply, demand. When there's more demand, and if there's scarce supplies, prices rise, right? So that's the crazy part about it.
So you want some history on this?
Shoot it.
That same concept in a little slightly different format, but the basic concept for this was used in mass by live events. So not only do you pay to speak at a live event, but you're going to pay to go there and you're going to pay to do all the things. And you get to invite X amount of people to also join you at this event. You get what they call complimentary tickets. It's like a low cost or no cost ticket as long as they show up, or a low cost or no cost entrance as long as they use your code. Like the same idea was done for they took the same live event, filling a live event model, and used it to what we call pre-seed a launch.
That landed. I'm aware of the live event that definitely landed. The only difference is in the live event model, those people can, they can still show up to the thing, right? Compared to with NFTs, they're just allowed to even apply, right? They still need to do the exact same thing that got them there in order to, still get a seat on the bus or get a seat on the ship. Like they got invited to the line. Like the live events, like, you know what? Like you get on the ship, but this model, they're even getting even more strict, right? Like they're taking the JV model, like we know in terms of with entrepreneurs collaborating with each other, and they're putting it on steroids, which I see as a awesome segue that can be used in the consulting world and coaching world, is the JV model that the NFT people are using. Like they're taking it like one step further in terms of scale and the word of mouth, the virality that I find like fascinating. Like for instance, which we're going to unpack these guys. So we're going to talk about very specific projects, case studies, and we're going to break it down play by play for you. And hopefully you guys will, spring some ideas of how you can implement this in your business. But like, for instance, I'm seeing this shift in the space, in NFT space, where it's now the NFTs, I want to say they're mature now, but there's enough projects out in the market now. There's enough holders where quality of a community is more important than selling out, because there's plenty of demand. There's so much demand, it's ridiculous. Like there's so much demand. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is they're being super selective, and they're going to the projects that they like, where the communities of the people that they like. And the only way to get into this project is by being a part of another project. I'm seeing it happen. It's crazy. It literally shifted like 10 days ago, where it's
piggybacking model.
Yeah, piggybacking hard. So now you got to pay. Not only now you have to pay to be a part of another community. That's one filter, and then you have to still jump through hoops and do. You have to like earn your way, because it's more than just money. It's like, are you emotionally, energetically invested in seeing the success of the project and not trying to make a quick buck? Right? Like it's like actually like they want people to contribute more than just dollars, energy, emotion, feedback. They want, like you're an owner, like you're a part owner of a brand essentially. So you just can't sit on your hand to be a planker, right? Like they want active members.
They want active members. They want active, what they're looking for is integrators. They're looking for executors. They're looking for the people who want to actively take part, want to, review things. I mean, the tech world has been doing this. I mean, instead of enrolling people, they just paid them. But they're looking for people who want to play in the space. Mm-hmm. They're looking for people who want to execute in that space. Because otherwise, all you end up getting essentially is looky loose. Naysayers.
Yes. Looky, like window shoppers. I'm a window shopper. I think I want it, but I don't know why. I'm just checking it out. I'm joking, guys. I can't sing, but as business owners, you guys don't want looky loos. You guys don't want tire kickers. Right? As sales, like I hate saying the word hate tire kicker, because I think they give great contrast it's a really good situation, because if you don't go through enough tire kickers or people who waste your time, then you don't know how to identify the people who won't waste your time, right? So I think contrast is beautiful. But as business owners, we all want people who are really engaged, who are wishing for your, committed, like rooting for you, like really rooting for you, not just rooting for you, but getting skin in the game, right? And as a creator and as an entrepreneur, you reward them by helping build a more valuable brand, a more valuable company, a more valuable project, so that everyone wins, right? And entrepreneurship is super lonely, right? So it's almost like you have this like wildlife, it's like a super fan club, right? Like everyone can have an Elon Musk fan club, right? He's the greatest fan club on the planet, right? Probably the best since Kiss and the Beatles, right? He's up there at Beatles level. Like imagine everyone could have a Beatles following, right? Be freaking amazing. So that's what I see going into the traditional business space, is that energy, right? That energy. Mm-hmm. And that's what I see. Yes, the technology is great, guys. Don't get me wrong. Like blockchain, all that stuff is cool, but it's this energy and this aligned incentives and this, this viral loop that's just like creating these win-win-wins. And it doesn't matter if the project fails or succeeds. Everyone is like still getting so much value. They're meeting, amazing connections that they'll probably have for the rest of their life. They're learning a lot, right? They've actual something to show for that they can use in the real world. That's more than just making a transaction, right? Which I think is beautiful. That's the reason why I'm in love with the NFT space. I mean, the art's cool. Don't get me wrong. There's some art projects I'm like, man, I want to create. But it's this energy in the viral loop that just fascinates me, and which is why we're going to definitely unpack this in another episode. So I'm stoked. My energy level just went through the roof, Heather.
I love that.
Viral loops, baby. Let's go. Right? You know what? Speaking of viral loops, because we're going to end it up here, do us a favor, because we want to share this message. We're doing this podcast because we really just want to provide value. We really want to do this for the rest of our lives. And at least me, for instance, I know for sure. And
I'm not going anywhere.
I know you're not. We're here for the long run. So if you found this episode to be super valuable and you think this really resonated with someone, feel free to share it with them. Hopefully this message resonated with someone deeply and really spark some ideas. Don't forget to rate, send us some comments, shoot us an email if this really resonated with you a certain way. Also, if you want to come on the pod and play with us a little bit, go to campfirecapitalism.com and request to be a guest. We would love to have you on and play in the sandbox with us. So it was a lot of fun. And this was part 1 of Viral Loops, and we'll see you on the next episode.